G'day ladies and gents, welcome to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome aboard the ME-262A1U4. This is the 50mm armed ME-262, and for those of you who have been paying attention to the recent battle rating changes, this aircraft recently had its BR reduced to battle rating 6.7, a place where I felt it should have been all along. So how effective is it at this BR? Well, honestly, it's quite competitive. It still has a couple of problems, but they're problems that are inherent to the aircraft, not problems that are really being created by its BR. First things first, as a bomber hunter, this thing is beautiful. One shot, first kill, and moving on to the next target. So what problems does this aircraft have? Well, it comes down to this gun. Now, if you saw my first impressions of this aircraft some time ago when it first came out, I had an issue with its ammunition belt stock. Now, that problem hasn't gone away. You need to unlock the belts for it. It only has 1 out of 3 rounds effective in the standard belts. One round, the second round is, well, it's questionable. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And the third round is practically useless. Once you've got the belts unlocked, you have access to high-velocity armor-piercing rounds for taking out tanks, which works extremely well on this gun. And you have access to an air target belt, which is basically pure HE and works incredibly well at taking out aircraft. So that solves the problem with the belt issue. The second problem with this thing's gun is related to its accuracy. The 50mm is, well, it can just diverge off randomly for no apparent reason by anywhere outwards of 5 degrees, which doesn't really sound like a lot, but when you're trying to hit a target at 800 kilometers an hour that's 600 meters away, that can result in a miss by almost 30 feet. Now, that is problematic, and it's a problem that doesn't go away until you have the final gun option unlocked. However, once you have the final cannon upgrade, the gun is effectively a railgun, providing you don't spray. One shot at a time, careful aim, and you will always hit your target. At the time of this battle, I don't actually have that final cannon upgrade, so you may see some of this shot diversion in the coming attacks. So how does it maneuver and fly at this BR? Well, again, this time it's quite competitive. As you can see, I'm currently being engaged by an F-84 Thunderjet. Now, the Thunderjet is just as maneuverable as the ME-262, and it's in fact faster with higher acceleration. However, the 262 does have slightly higher energy retention. Now, even fully upgraded, this aircraft will not outrun this Thunderjet, so I'm unable to try and escape from it in that manner. So what I'm doing instead is holding it in an 800 km an hour turning battle. Now, I'm not going to be able to outturn the Thunderjet, but I can turn hard enough to both stay ahead of his guns, making it impossible for him to actually kill me, and to cause him to burn out his energy, slowing himself down and making him easy prey for members of my team. Which is precisely what's about to happen. I've called for backup. I'm in this turning war at the moment. I've slowed him down. I'm maintaining over 800, but I've actually slowed him down to about 600 kilometers an hour and nearly right angles. And there it is. Focke-Wulf 190 D13 just boomed in on him while he was in the middle of a blackout turn trying to get to me, target fixated, and he copped a bunch of 20mm shells for his efforts, and he is going down. So my tail is clear. I can go back to hunting targets. Now, the D13 that just cleared my arse is being engaged by a Griffin Spitfire. He's trailing black smoke, so he's in trouble, so it would be awfully rude of me not to try and return the favour. A second D13 is at altitude, getting ready to give him an assist as well. This Spitfire is about to have a very bad day, and here's another case of target fixation. He's got 2 planes moving on him, but he's so focused on that D13 that he shot that he's not watching behind him. He never sees us coming. Now, I don't get this kill, but I do hit. What happened then was me and the D13 fired at the same time. His 20mm shells landed first and recorded the kill. My 50mm shell landed a split second later and just vaporised what was left of the aircraft. So he just got double tapped hard. No assist for that, unfortunately, but that really wasn't the goal. It would have been nice to get one, but I really just wanted to make sure that D13 that saved my ass lived to get a landing, and he did. He managed to touch down and he's getting a repair currently, so excellent. Time to move on, looking for new targets. And this German team was incredibly good. We've managed to take out almost the entirety of the US team at this point. Few people have had to land and get repairs, but that's perfectly fine. We've basically got the US team on the ropes now, so we've just got to track down the last of their aircraft and eliminate them. Now, I can see a possible engagement developing off to my right-hand side, so I turn the plane to head towards it, but an F8F pops up. Now, that F8F is actually very close to one of our runways, and we have planes down on that runway, so I'm going to move to engage him and keep him occupied to buy time for our aircraft to clear the runway. Try and line up a shot to the nose and a head-on. Taking the lead, F8F turns towards me, fire the shot, and you see the divergence? Now, I do have vertical targeting enabled on this aircraft at the moment. He was right in my convergence, so that shell should have gone straight into his prop hub. And that's the effect of not having the final gun upgrade. Should I have had that upgrade, he would be dead right now. So taking the 262 vertical and then into a loop, I'm going to dive back in on the F8F. A Focke-Wulf 190 has moved into engage as well. Now, hit and run tactics is the key with the 262 engaging things like the Bearcat. The Bearcat is actually more than capable of taking the 262 down. It is a fast plane, well, not as fast as the 262. If you get into a slow engagement, it will just turn in on you and rip you apart with its guns. Bearcat sees me coming, rolls out of the way. I try and drop in on its tail, going too fast. I am trying to turn in behind. It banks over. I'm not going to follow. Take it straight vertical, go back for altitude. Loop it over and re-dive when I know he's not following me. He's turning back. Just following him through the blackout at the moment. He's pulling away, so I get a second crack. Shots away, miss again. Now you'll see I'm using snap to target quite a lot in this engagement. I'm actually constantly looking at the attitude of the Bearcat. If it turns back in my direction, I'm just going to level out and fly away. There's no point in trying to turn back on him. But why he is constantly facing in a direction that is not the direction that I'm in, I'm safe to turn the plane back and engage. Now the 190 has engaged the Bearcat. The Bearcat has gone vertical to evade the 190, but he's put himself into a stall right in front of me, take the lead, pull the trigger, and goodbye Bearcat. Second kill. Now on the subject of using the snap to target camera, you'll notice if you re-review my evasion of the F-84 before, I was using that a lot. What I was doing is not just checking where he was, but I was looking specifically at what his attitude was. That is, what angle his wings were on and how exactly he was turning. His current roll angle, elevation angle, and so on. Now what I was doing there is I needed to know what that was so I could turn my plane on an angle that would always keep me slightly ahead of his current location. Or more to the point, slightly ahead of his guns. So Griffin Spit spotted ahead. I take a stab at him, but not going to get a good attack angle. If I continued that through, I would have pancaked, so just run out the other end. I'm doing 750 kilometers an hour. There's no way known he's going to be able to catch me. Bring it back around when I know I'm safe. Take a bit of a wide angle so I gain some altitude in my turn. Line him up to re-dive. Now the Spitfire saw my turn and has turned back to come in underneath me, again presenting me with a sharp angle of attack. This one was better, but the shell just misses. Close, but not quite. However, the cavalry is arriving. The props that were repairing on the runway before have re-entered the battle, and he has two coming in on his tail fast. Again, go for the vertical, bring it back around. I might be able to get him in a stall as he goes evasive against the oncoming fighters. We'll see what happens. Into the dive, and nope, they get him. And the US team is rapidly running out of fighters at the moment. As I said, this was a very good German team. Another Spitfire sighted to the left, most likely a Griffin Spit. I'm running a little lower than I would like and a little slower, but making the turn. I have altitude on him as he's gone in low. He goes into a head-on, and while it was a Spitfire, even a Griffin Spitfire going head-on with a D-13 is not a wise thing to do, and that's another enemy plane out. So, only one enemy aircraft remaining, and we have no idea exactly where the hell he is. So, just begin cruising around having a look for him. We're all going to start fanning out across the map. He could have gone to altitude to hide. He might be, well, he could be anywhere at the moment. We just don't know. We are running slightly low on tickets. Now, we do have an Arado 234 that's reloading its bombs, and we'll come back to level it out if he's a runner. But I decide I'm going to see, well, I've got plenty of shots remaining, see whether or not this air target ammo is good against at least medium tanks. Fire the shot, and, oh, missed that one. That's okay. 845 kilometers an hour. I'll just line up the next one that's 2 kilometers away. It'll only take me a few seconds to get there. Line this up again. Bloody tree in the way. I'll line up this one. Shot in and hit, and 0 damage. So, okay, air target belts 100% ineffective against even medium tanks. So, fair enough. Although that is why this aircraft gets access to 2 different ground attack belts, although I really only recommend the high velocity belt. That thing is lethal against medium and heavy tanks. So you can't really complain about the air target belts not being that effective. So, we're still missing that last enemy aircraft. Now, if he's a runner, he could be at any altitude and gone, and I'm not particularly worried about it this match. The Arado is going to go through and take out some bases. Now it has all the air cover in the world, and we'll bring the points back and we'll win. But if it's not a runner, where could it be? Now, the only place that I can think of, and he does have points, so he has been doing stuff this match, is likely the runway. If he's taken damage at some point, or has run out of ammunition, or if it's a bomber, we don't know at this point, and he's gone back to base to get more ordnance, the runway's the place he's going to be. So I'm the fastest plane on the team. put it on the deck, crack out over 800 kilometers an hour, and head over to check the runway to see whether or not there's anyone there. The worst that can happen is there's nobody there. I'll boom through at high speed, avoid the AAA, and just head back in, looking down the northeastern side of the map to see whether or not he's over that area. At over 800, this was a very fast flight, and, well, what do we have here? B-17 on the runway, and it's moving, so it looks like it's taking off. First thing I do is alert the team to make sure they know it's here. Now, is he landing, or is he actually trying to get off the ground? And no, he's throttled up, he's just reloaded, he's taking off. Wheels are up, so he's fair game, line my shot, and I don't give it anywhere near enough lead. I was trying to shear off his tail, and the shell diverged, and I wasn't giving it enough lead in the first place, so I missed. Into the vertical, go through a loop, line him back up in a dive, and I've got the full silhouette of a B-17 here, so it would be a horrible thing if I was to miss. Fire a couple of shots here, and there we go. Last player is out. Clear the runway, and match over. So let's go and check out the results. So, results for the match. First place for the team with 3 kills. Fighter Rescuer X2, Avenger, Professional X2, Shadow Strike Streak X2, Windstreak X3, The Best Squad, Terror of the Sky, and Bulletproof. 60,030 silver lions and 8,642 research points. And I've almost got that 50mm upgrade done. In fact, I have actually completed it since this match. So, the 262 A1U4 is now a spaded plane. So the A1U4 at battle rating 6.7, is it overpowered? Well, despite the fact that I got 3 kills in first place in this match, no. Pretty much my result in this match was dependent on the fact that I had a very good team of German pilots in props, and they were willing to support me and watch what I was doing. It also came down to a little bit of luck with my shots. If I'd been flying with a less responsive, less skilled team, it's likely that Thunderjet would have ended up killing me very early on in the match, and this would have been a 1-kill loss. At battle rating 6.7, the U4 is actually one of the slowest jets at its tier. The only thing that's really reliably faster than is the Yak jets, which can quite easily outturn it. As I showed, the Thunderjet is actually a faster aircraft, the Meteor F3 is a faster aircraft. At 820 level flight at sea level, it's only slightly faster than a Tempest 2, and it doesn't have the turning circle availability that the prop fighters actually have. However, in skilled hands it can be a good plane, so that makes it fairly competitive at its tier. This is where it should have been. That 50mm gun is unreliable at best. Great for bomber hunting and ground attack, but not so good for dealing with fighters, although a skilled hands again will make it work. However, it is hilarious when you hit a target. It is also worth considering its ground attack performance, which I didn't show in this video. At high levels, Germany is actually lacking in the level bombers and the ground attackers that some of the other nations have. Dropping the U4 to this level actually puts a plane in position to go with the Horten 229 as a very effective ground attacker. So what Germany is lacking in bombers, at around battle rating 6 to battle rating 7, it makes up for in high-speed ground attack aircraft now. So it is able to drag back the points on a losing match and level the scores, providing people are using the 262 as a ground attacker, of course. So anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for it being a little bit shorter than what I would normally make. Work is preventing me from being able to have the time to be able to do long videos at the moment, so the next couple are probably only going to be around 10 to 15 minutes long. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.